physically assisted. R1 and B3's runs, as long as they legally score, their runs would count. Right?
Your comment is right in a way that this play is not a dead ball. But this one is kind of simple because the ball's hit over the fence. But say the ball's still out in the outfield, that runner's going to be declared out. But the ball's still going to be
All
live.
you do is say out for that runner.
Just point at him. That's interference by the coach. That runner's out. Whatever we do.
Yeah.
But the point is, if the ball was still in play, it's still live.
Still alive.
Technically, that'd be legal.
Everybody got that?
Just a minute.
You hear it back there, Joe?
Yep, that's fine.
All right.
No penalty on the coach?
Well, the penalty is not.
The penalty is that the runner is out. Okay? Now, here's a person that writes these questions that likes to warn people. You know, you're going to warn them. You don't need to warn them. Okay? They say, what? What did I do? You may have to explain it, but you don't have to. There's no warning. No warning.
Can we go over that again just one more time? Is that a delayed dead ball?
No.
You just want the play happen and then you're gonna clean it up after the play?
The ball went out of play.
So it's already there.
So it's already a dead ball. Okay? So now you've got the runner coming around third.
Right.
Okay? They're grabbed, pulled back. Okay? And so you should point there and say that's interference. That runner's out. Okay? And then the other two continue running and finish their responsibilities.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So that response is regardless if it goes over the fence or it's a triple in the gap.
Right.
Right.
To answer your question, right?
Okay?
That response is the same.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Okay? Now, throw a little wrench in it. What if one of those other two runners missed a base?
Field play.
And the defense, they have to appeal. And what would you have?
And out.
An unhappy coach.
So, John, it would depend on which one missed.
Why?
If the one that hit the home run missed, the run would still score, right?
Well,
First one.
Yeah, but
You're working ahead of the run.
they would record before the third out.
It depends on what
Okay.
base they miss.
yeah, no, yeah,
But, John, going back to the original question,
yes.
what happens if there's two outs?
Nobody's scored.
Timing.
It
Well,
wasn't
I don't
first
remember who was,
So you got that right, there's one behind him.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so,
After the third,
runner, yeah, so it's runner one that,
it was the first one.
correct.
Oh, yeah, the first one.
So
Yeah, it's the
so
second one. One, yeah, one.
assuming runner one goes on third scores, you don't have the out until runner two was the one that was interfered with by the coach.
Okay. Rick?
This play that scenario would not be a time play though. Because the runner from third is going to score because they're awarded home.
Oh,
By
yeah,
virtue of the
yeah,
home run.
the fence, yeah.
So the timing on when the interference takes place doesn't matter on that case. But the rule that we all need to know on this one is if the third out happens, then any runners behind that third out can't score.
Right.
Sorry, Rick, I was thinking live ball, if it happened during live ball, not a
All right.
home run.
Good discussion. Glad you're here, Rick. B1 bunts the ball down the third base line. F5 throws the ball toward first base, hitting B1 in the back as B1 is running to first base. B1 is running with the right foot in the 3-foot running lane and the left foot in fair territory, past the white line. When B1 is hit with the ball, the left foot is in the air. B1 is still guilty of interference and should be ruled out. True or false?
False. False.
True.
I'm hearing both.
In the meeting, they said they to change the rule if their foot's in the air, you can't call based on it. You called from the previous foot that was down.
How many had faults? Wrong. It is true.
826 is the road.
826.
None of those rules there even apply to.
I know.
Yeah, none of them apply.
865,
Yeah.
8311, 911.
865.
Write down 826. Yeah. There's a wrong rule reference here. 826 is the correct rule reference.
They do that on purpose. The question, so, let's say the throw draws the first baseman off the bag, does not hit the runner. We still got obstruction.
Off the bag, which way? Fair or foul territory? Does it matter?
Let's say fair territory.
Okay?
It doesn't always have to hit the runner,
No.
but it's a judgment call on your part then on that.
But it's pretty easy when their foot is in fair territory, or at last touched in fair territory. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but the problem I can see, let's say the third baseman comes in, she's losing her balance, she kind of flips the throw,
Yeah.
and it draws the first baseman off. You call that an errant throw or on the runner?
Well, the runner has to do what they're supposed to do, right?
So
And that is to run in proper running lane.
the whole key, if she's in third territory, then she's up.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Did she interfere?
That's my question.
That's your judgment.
Yeah.
That's
The scenario that you just described, where she's coming in and all off balance and flipping it, and she doesn't make a real good throw there, that's probably a bad throw, but, I mean, is she gonna get all the way to the baseline to make that play and throw it? Probably not.
But that was what I was asking.
That's why you're hired.
Yeah.
You get to make that call.
Is it actually interference? That's why we're on the team. We gotta make that call. But this is something, I've made an emphasis in my own mind the last 2 years to watch that runner going down first base a lot closer. Because a lot of times, they never get in the running. Never do.
Yeah, that's true.
But most of the time, it's not a problem, because the throw is not coming from home. There are times, right, the bunt and so on, okay, or the pitcher gets it, but we've got to be watching, that's why we're there.
Okay, John.
Yes, sir.
Right at the beginning page for the softball rule changes, 826 clarifies that a runner is considered outside the running lane when either foot last contacting the ground is completely outside the lane. And if you look at 826, in the rule book on page 64, the batter runs outside the 3-foot lane, and in the judgment of the umpire interferes with the fielder taking the throw at first. Now, there must be a throw, obviously. However, the batter runner may be outside the 3-foot lane to avoid a fielder attempting to field the bat and ball. A runner is considered outside the lane if either foot last contacted the ground completely outside the running lane. Am I just misreading this somehow?
Yeah.
Outside the running. Oh, not in the running lane.
Yeah, their foot last contacted in fair territory. Okay? Good. That's all right. No, but that, you understand how the book works, right? That the gray highlighted part is a new
change.
rule or an addition, and that's what you find on page 64. Last contact with the ground completely outside the lane is highlighted in gray. Tom, question?
So for the purpose of this question, the answer is true. However, and I'm just throwing this out there because I do have an answer. Is there a situation where potentially a runner could be struck in fair territory and still not be out with the ball?
Whoa.
Hey.
Hold on.
All right.
So, and I'll leave it as that. And if there is, what is it?
Okay, is there,
A situation where Go ahead.
The runner is in fair territory, they're hit with the ball. I mean, they're running down first baseline, right? That's where you're at, okay? They're hit with the ball, and they would not be out. Is there a situation where they would not be out? That's his question.
Drop third strike?
Okay? Jack said the situation could be a drop third strike. That's a scenario that could happen. He's not necessarily saying that the person would be not out. Okay? Any other thoughts on, can you think of time? John?
I just need one more simplification for this.
Yep.
So if she steps outside the running lane, as long as she comes back into the running lane, then that's okay, right? She comes back in the running lane, gets hit, everything's okay,
Yes.
right? So what we're looking for is, because she could run out and still come back in, right? And she'd be legal.
They always start outside, think about it. They always start outside.
Steps are out there.
Right-hand batter starts outside. Right-hand batter starts in fair territory going down the line.
It's outside running.
Oh, okay. I was thinking outside the first baseline. Gotcha. Yeah. They are outside the running lane until they get to the running lane. Yeah. Yeah. But yes, good question. All right.
And that could be,
Mike?
that could be fair or foul territory that they're out of the running lane. Well, pass ball gets by the catcher, drop third strike, or in dirt, and they're running. If they're inside the running lane, foul territory applies as well. Correct?
Yes.
Because that's a spare. It's kind of misleading, but spare call.
So Tom, did we answer your question or not?
I didn't hear what the scenario was that they came up, I'm sorry.
Okay. So, I don't know, I can't think of any time where if they're outside the running lane, they'd have to be in fair territory, right? Unless they're way foul ground outside the lane that way, okay? But in fair territory is what you're asking, okay? And they get hit, is there any time where they would not be called out for interference?
So what if they bunt and the runners make an attempt to go around the fielder, the catcher, attempting to pick the ball up, and they have yet to establish a base path or a path to the run to the line, and in the process of running, they get hit in fair territory. Would you call that runner out?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. By the time all that happened, they would have gotten
I'm just asking, I'm just
Yeah.
throwing that out there.
enough steps down where they should have gotten through.
It's only the
Get
second
out.
half of the base path. The first 40 feet
All right.
don't count, or the first 30 feet don't count.
Ready to move on? Good discussion. Which of the following requires state association approval prior to being allowed to be worn in contest? You gotta know this stuff. Right?
Fashion, please.
I'm gonna go reverse order. A defensive player's face shield.
It's all right.
No.
Do we need state requirements or permission for that? No. Any hard items braided into the player's hair?
Are down legal new this year.
Pardon me?
They're legal new this
They
year.
are legal. Any religious head covering?
Legal.
You need state approval for that?
No,
No.
no.
The answer is A. Any head covering being worn for medical reasons. That's the answer. Okay? Medical reasons. Questions? 19, the umpire notices that several players on Team A have adornments in their hair which of the following are prohibited from being worn. F5 has a religious head covering without prior state association approval. Kind of just covered that. F3 has a bandana as a hair covering. F4 is wearing a plastic visor.
That's.
Letter C, F6 has beads braided into the hair. We looked that up last week, remember talking about that? That's okay. And letter D, F8 has 3/8 bobby pins being used for hair control. Again, this is a new thing in the rule book, highlighted, okay? And so that's why they ask questions about it, right? Is it mandated? What's your answer?
The bobby pins, D.
No.
No. And then.
Oh, bandana is the correct answer.
Gang symbols.
What's that?
Gang symbols.
Is that the change?
Sorry, John.
That's the new change this year. Bandana and plastic.
We had a question, I didn't hear it. Sorry, Jack was disturbing me.
Was that the change? That was the question. Was that the change that you were referring to in the rule book?
Well, there's several things that are listed there.
I did look it up, I got it right here. It says
Okay.
plastic visors and bandanas are prohibited.
Okay, yep. Plastic visor. Now, if you have a cloth, like a hat, visor.
So then a bobby pin could be like a bead. It's like considered the same thing.
Yeah, hair control. They're kind of loosening that up a little bit. There used to be nothing in there, except for, they call it ponytail.
Scrunching.
Yeah, stretching. All right, 20. Darwin, question?
Isn't that kind of a regressive amendment to the rule of safety?
In your opinion, probably my opinion, yes. But,
I don't like them beads in basketball.
yeah, well,
Doesn't matter if you like it.
they're outside. They need to control the hair because they're outside. That's all I can think of.
Well, to me,
Okay?
to me
Yes.
personally,
Yes.
a metal bobby pin that when you're sliding in or whatever could, if you run into with your slide, it's going to be worse than you have a plastic. As
Well-
far as poking into you, but that's okay. I didn't get the plastic visor thing. I knew that was. I just had it in my head. I didn't look it up. I just thought it was the
Yeah.
bobby pins.
Now remember, if it's an offensive player, they're gonna have a helmet on anyway,
Right.
right? So usually contact between the defensive player and offensive player is not the defensive player's head. Unless they're diving back to touch a base, it's very rare that that's gonna happen. Most of the time, it's, with the arms, the hands. Okay? Did I already advance that? Yeah. Number 20, with no outs, B1 hits a deep line drive, sliding into second base safely. B1 dislodges the base from its proper position. F2 tags B1, who is no longer in contact with the dislodged base. What is the proper ruling? Okay, now, wait a minute. Somebody that hasn't said anything all night. I'm gonna pick on you, Mike. Yeah, what do you got for this, Mike, number 20? C is correct. B1 is not out, or runner is not required to follow a base that has become dislodged. Okay?
Last week down in Florida, I had a girl at junior college game do that, and she went over, grabbed the base, and hugged it.
She wasn't sure she was safe, right?
Unnecessary risk.
And the base was 6 feet away, so you called her out for being off the base, okay?
Yes.
All right. Number 21, R1 is on first base. B2 is at bat with a no ball, 2-strike count, and no outs. B2 swings at the pitch, and the foul tip is caught by the catcher. So what do we got right now? Got it out, right? Yeah. B2 runs towards first base. Coaches actually teach that, right? Okay. As R1 is diving back to first base, B2 collides with F3, who's attempting to catch the thrown ball from F2 to tag R1. You follow what's happening, right? Yes?
Yes.
She was actually put out, but she now takes off to first base. The runner on first had taken off, is coming back, catcher's throwing the ball down, first base, and we got all kinds of funny things happening.
Right.
Letter A, B2 is awarded second base, B1 is awarded third base. B2 is declared out for interference, R1 remains at first base. B2 is struck out and is charged with interference, R1 is declared out as the runner closest to home. B2 is struck out, R1 remains at first base. Or B2 is declared out for interference, R1 is awarded second base.
C.
Okay.
C, you've got an infield
Tom,
fly, one
lead
out
line
there, you get them in the way.
The answer is C. How many would agree with Tom that it's C? You would be correct. Okay?
Would you,
Yes.
just for maybe somebody,
Yep.
explain why R1 is declared out as the runner closest to home?
Okay? Go ahead, Ted.
When there's base runners on and a batter runner is declared out for interference that has already been put out, the penalty is the next out is the runner closest to home plate.
The key is interference on the retired runner.
On a retired runner, if the offensive player creating the interference has already been put out and they interfere with another out, it's not necessarily the person on first base, it could be the runner on third. So it's the runner closest to home plate is the next out because of the interference.
In this case, there's only one.
Only one, I know, that's what it's.
Yeah. Okay, Mark?
It's any offensive player that's been put out. It doesn't, if in this case, it's bad runner,
Well,
it could be another runner.
And often, I didn't say.
Interference by a retired batter,
Runner, yeah.
Okay.
Closest to home is out.
What's your love the game? 22. 22. So the base, when the base is loaded and less than 2 outs, F4 is using ordinary effort to catch a pop-up. The correct call is infield fly, if fair, is called by the umpire, and if the ball remains fair, the batter is out. Runners may not advance at any time. Only an infielder can catch infield fly. If the ball is ruled foul, it is still an infield fly. So hopefully you eliminated C and D right away. Runners may not advance at any time.
Is also incorrect.
Is incorrect. Okay? So that leaves you with A. Right? Letter A. Question? 23, the DP, hey, geez. The DP may be substituted for at any time by the legal substitute, yes. The flex playing offense, coming into play offense, right, to go back, that's what that means. Anyone else in the batting order?
No.
D, A and B only,
Yes.
or E, A, B, and C?
A and B only.
Letter D.
Letter D.